It's an age-old question. Which is better? The Android, the iPhone, the blah, 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 yeah, or whatever. In today's video, what I'm going to tell you about is 5 ways that the iPhone 11 is better than the Galaxy S20 line. The first one is maybe the most important one. I mean, might not be the most important one to you in your everyday use. It might not be the one that really matters to you as much, but it probably matters to you in terms of your security, your safety, all those kinds of things, more than any other feature on the phone, and that is the security systems that are available on the phone. It's well known that Face ID is one of the most secure, if not the most secure, ways of biometric authentication that you can get in a smartphone. And Face ID, with its true depth sensing cameras and all those kinds of things, is only available on, of course, the iPhone. Whereas the Galaxy S20 line and a lot of the other Android phones do have facial recognition software. They are in no way nearly as secure as Face ID. They can easily be fooled. It's been proven many, many times. And it's not just the security that makes it a better system. I've found that when using an iPhone, the Face ID system becomes almost invisible. You pick up your phone, you swipe, and you're in. There's no conscious, like putting your thumb on a fingerprint reader or any of those kinds of things. It is a very elegant, very fast way to get into your phone. So between Face ID being faster and also more secure, as well as more reliable and easier to use, I have to say that Face ID, compared to anything else that Android has going on, is much better, and I prefer it much more than the alternative. Number 2. This is one everybody loves to talk about, and so we're just going to talk about it right here at the top of the list. The ecosystem. The Apple ecosystem, which a lot of people like to hate on, and yes, it is sort of a pyramid scheme to get you to buy a lot of different devices from the one company. I get it. It does work. It does work incredibly well. If you have your iPhone, if you have your Apple Watch, if you have your Apple TV, if you have HomeKit stuff set up, if you have Macs and iMacs and iPads and all of those things, if you have AirPods, whether they be Pro or not Pro, all of those things work together seamlessly. It's just really one of the modern wonders of technology is how well all of Apple's devices work well together. Not to mention that on the iPhone side, we have the much discussed iMessage, which allows you to talk to a lot of different people in groups and that kind of thing over a more secure network, as well as sending better quality photos and all that kind of thing. So iMessage is always a big one that everybody talks about. But then there's also AirDrop. Now I know that there's an AirDrop competitor that's either out or coming out or is going to be here, or maybe it's going to happen. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't tried it yet, but the ease of use of AirDrop. I do a lot of the B-roll that I do in my videos, and I don't use a lot of B-roll, but a lot of the B-roll that I do, photos that I take, that kind of thing, I need to get them over to my computer quickly when I'm editing in Final Cut Pro, and to get stuff off of an Android phone compared to how you get stuff off of an iPhone is almost like the difference between stone tablets and computers. You know, it's just so much easier, so much better with AirDrop. And it's one of the only reasons why I don't think I could ever fully go away from using an iPhone in some way or another. Number 3, and this one's getting closer all the time. This one's getting very close, but last year Apple made great leaps forward with the iPhone 11 and the 11 Pro, 11 Pro Max, all those phones. The battery life. The battery life of the phones is much better on the iPhone. The Galaxy S20 Ultra does have a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. I believe that's the largest battery that Samsung has put in a phone. And I will say that looking at my charts of battery usage and that kind of thing, I'm getting 4 and 5 and 6 hours of screen on time, which is fantastic, which is amazing. I can't speak to the lower end models that have the smaller batteries. Samsung is getting close, but my iPhone 11 is a 2.5 day phone. It's a 2.5 day phone. I don't have to charge it for 2.5 days, no matter how much I use it or don't use it. And the standby time is so much better than anything of any Android phone that I've ever used. Battery life on the iPhone has gone from something that was like, oh, well, on the Plus phones, the battery life is pretty good, but everything else is not all that great, to the Plus phones, the regular iPhone, the Pro phone, the Max phone, all those phones, amazing battery life. And I don't know what Apple did. I don't know how they did it. But they did. And the battery life on iPhones this year, and I'm sure into the future, is so much better than it's ever been before. And while Samsung has closed the gap with bigger batteries and some better battery usage features in the operating system, the iPhone still holds the edge in the battery life category. Number 4 is one that I've been talking about since the Galaxy S20 line was announced and we knew what they were going to be. Number 4 is really sort of, I guess, the feature set or the hardware that you get with each phone. Now, if you start with an iPhone 11 Pro and an iPhone 11 Pro Max, they both have the same internal specs. They have the same RAM, they have the same CPU, they have all the same things inside, and they have the same camera system. If you drop down to the iPhone 11, you lose one camera module, you lose the telephoto lens, but you still keep all of the same stuff, and all of these come in at price points that are very competitive. Yes, the iPhones come with less storage to start with, but they do also start at a lower price for the bigger models, whereas the S20 Ultra starts at $1,400, and it is the only phone that Samsung has in the S20 line that has all the fancy features of the 108 megapixel camera and a few other things that go along with it. So if you want all the features of a Samsung Galaxy S20 phone, you have to get the Ultra. Now, whether or not those features are worth spending that extra money on is something that we'll figure out when I do my full review of the Galaxy S20 here coming very soon. But if I'm comparing one against the other, giving one the advantage over the other, then I have to say that the iPhone, from soup to nuts, from the lowest end model to the highest end model, gives you the most features for the money compared to the Samsung Galaxy S20 line, so iPhone wins that one. The 5th way that the iPhone beats the Galaxy S20 line is one that is very controversial. A lot of people just get upset about this, but it's true. It's true every year. The processor speed. The iPhone processor is always better. Single core, multi-core score, whatever you want to put up against it, the A-series chips that are in the iPhones are always faster than their Qualcomm equivalents. Yes, benchmarks are not a way to judge how a phone performs from day to day in this or that or the other task. Also, tapping on screens is not a way to really assess speed either. The Geekbench scores between the two, and I have them both here, the Geekbench scores between the two really tell the story. The brand new Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 is slower than the A13 chip, and that might seem like, well, okay, it's not that bad, but let's remember, the Qualcomm 865 is the chip for 2020. It's Qualcomm's chip for 2020, whereas the iPhone chip, the A13 that's in the iPhone 11, is the 2019 chip. There will be an A14 chip, and it will be faster still than the Qualcomm chips. Now, this just, maybe serves to make a lot of people mad. I'm sure there'll be a lot of discussion down in the comments below about whether or not it matters if they're faster, but using these benchmarks, you can see that one is faster than the other. Whether or not it matters, we can discuss. But that is a 5th way that the iPhone is better than the Samsung Galaxy S20 line. Now, I've got one more. A bonus way that the iPhone is better than the S20. It's something that might be a little controversial. It might make you a little mad. It goes in the face of everything that most everybody else has said about the Samsung S20 line in terms of how the cameras work. I have not put the back cameras through all of their paces. That, again, will be part of my full coverage of the phone when I do my full review. But I have tried to take selfies. I have taken some time and really try to compare the selfies between the two, and I am here to tell you that the iPhone 11, this guy right here, which is I think something like $600 cheaper than this guy right here, takes so much better selfies, so much more easily, that I don't understand how it's even a conversation, and yet the conversation goes on. I'm going to show you some selfies that I took this morning as I was getting this script together to do this video so that we can all understand exactly what the difference is. I used the portrait mode on the iPhone. I used the live focus mode on the Samsung because I wanted to see how they compared with one another. And the iPhone A looks so much better. So much better. And B, I only had to take one photo to get the photo that I'm showing you here. Whereas the S20 Ultra looks terrible. I've turned off all beauty mode. It's all rosy and gross looking and soft, and I'm just really not impressed, nor am I impressed with the live focus mode that's in there. And I had to take this photo 5 or 6, maybe even 7 times before I could get one that I felt confident about comparing with the iPhone. If I would have just taken the first one, then the iPhone would have won hands down. So, the selfie cameras, iPhone is winning that game right now. That's your bonus way that the iPhone 11 is better than the Samsung Galaxy S20 line. Again, if you want to find out how the Galaxy S20 line is better than the iPhone, then make sure that you've subscribed to the channel and you come back and you get that bell notification going and all those kinds of things, so you'll know when I'm back here with that video. I know that you're already all down there in the comments below telling me exactly what you think about this comparison and exactly what you think about the points that I'm making here. I wanted to find 5 ways. I found 6 ways that the iPhone 11 line is better than the Samsung Galaxy S20 line, and it wasn't that hard to do. It wasn't that hard to do. Let's see how it goes with the 5 ways that the Samsung Galaxy S20 line is better than the iPhone 11 line. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. My name is Jason, sometimes known as the JTL. This is Painfully Honest Tech. Tech so honest it hurts. Until the next time, I'm out.